Greetings, humans! I haven't had much time for costuming or crafting lately because I am crazy busy trying to finish the final draft of Jubilant, the novel that my best friend and I are publishing next month. And in between editing sessions, I am also working on illustrations for the book. So, today I'm going to show you my illustration process and read you an excerpt from Jubilant. If you like what you hear, you can pre-order the Kindle version from Amazon. The link is down in the description. So, without further ado, let's get drawing. I'm not bothering to show you the sketching process because I didn't sketch this from scratch. I traced a reference photo and then just sketched in the correct clothing and details. Now, I know a lot of people say tracing is cheating, but that's not strictly true. Think of it like this. When you were a little kid learning addition and multiplication, your teacher said it was cheating to use a calculator. And your teacher was right, because you'd never learn to multiply if the calculator did it for you. But years later, in algebra class, your teacher let you use a calculator for arithmetic because she was confident you already understood the basics. Why waste time doing long division when you can plug it into the calculator and move on to the more complex math you're supposed to be focusing on? It's the same with art. When you're learning or practicing how to sketch, it's cheating to trace because you'll never learn to measure things by eye that way. But once you're confident in your ability to sketch, there's nothing wrong with taking a shortcut sometimes. You don't want to trace all the time, or your sketching skills will get rusty. But in a case like this, where I'm trying to finish 34 drawings in a month, it's a huge time saver to trace the basic pose and then move on quickly to adding the details. Anyway, teaching moment is over. Let's move on to an excerpt from Jubilant.
"Sir," yelled a voice. "Fire! There's fire in the hold! It just lit up with no warning!" Wren swore. "Get the fire pumps. Put it out." "Why, sir, Carter already went to get—" "Fire pumps are destroyed," shouted Carter as he skidded around the corner. Wren swore again, more viciously. Damn pirates! They must have set the fire before their vessel was taken, with a slow match or fuse to delay it until the Jubilant was too far away to help. It was insane. They were trapped on board as surely as their captors. But it had to be deliberate, or why destroy the fire pumps? Without the pumps, there was no point trying to pull water up in buckets. They'd never keep up with the spread of the fire. "Wet canvas," Wren said. "Come on, we'll smother it." Carter and Gilly grabbed the damaged sail they'd pulled down an hour ago, and Wren gave a hand to bundle it up the ladder. "Fire below!" he shouted to the two men he'd left on deck, and they instantly abandoned their tasks and rushed to help tumble the sail over the side. Wren fell into line with the rest of them, gripping the edge of the sail and hauling like a common deckhand, and nobody questioned it, not when there was fire aboard. They dragged the sodden sail down the ladder into the main hold, a low, airless space crammed with bales of silk. Wren smelled smoke, not the fierce, sharp smell of guns, but the bitter, sickening stench of burning tar. He started coughing immediately, eyes watering so he could hardly see anything. He groped deeper into the heavy black smoke, with the men shuffling after him, dragging the soaked sail between them. By the time Wren saw flame flickering through the choking smoke, he knew their wet sail wouldn't be enough. The fire had gotten into the rope, coils and coils of thick hemp lines coated with tar. And even as he slapped his edge of the sail over the nearest flames, he saw fire spring to one of the bales of silk, which went up with a huff of air. The pirates had done their job well, if it was their fault at all. Wren remembered the pirate captain's cry of dismay when he heard there was fire aboard. "We need Mage Selden," panted Carter. "We don't have him," snapped Wren. And apparently they didn't have his fireproofing either, or at least not enough of it. Wren thought he saw a flicker of Selden's yellow magic along the edges of the fire. A fireproofing spell, presumably, but it wasn't strong enough. Wren's own magic stirred inside him, the familiar instinctive response to danger, urging him to draw on the power that could save him. He'd failed the mage tests as a child, He wasn't allowed to use his power, but they didn't have many options right now. Ren's hand closed briefly around the handle of the lucky knife he carried at his belt. You'd get in trouble for this, but it was better than being dead, wasn't it? Move back, he yelled. I'll see what I can do. He spread his hands in front of him, drew in a deep breath, and choked on the smoke. No deep breath, then. He focused fiercely on his outstretched hands, willing power into them, and a brilliant blue glow flared to life along his fingers. That was the easy part. Now for an actual spell. Ren didn't know any spells, and he didn't have any focus to direct the magic. No chants, no talismans, no staff or wand. Stop burning, he grunted, and thrust power at the fire in a wash of blue light that became visible to his men as soon as it left his hands. For a second he thought it was working. The flames flickered and shrank away. But then he felt the power fly out of control. The spell lost its shape and reverted to raw magic, no longer visible to anyone but Ren, pouring into the fire in a burst of energy. And energy took the form of heat. Damn it, said Ren. Get out! He turned on his heel and shoved the nearest man ahead of him, as the fire roared outward toward them, white-hot flame roiling in the air and clawing at cargo and darting along the ceiling. Ren felt the flash of heat pass over him, hot enough to make him wince, but he was already halfway up the ladder. Damn, croaked Ren again between coughing fits. His eyes were streaming so he could hardly see. He wiped a sleeve across his face and stepped farther from the hatchway. His cheeks were burning, as much from embarrassment as from the heat of the fire. What had he been thinking? He knew better than to try using magic. There was a reason it took years of training to certify as a mage. He'd only added fuel to the fire, and now he had even less time to think of a way to escape.
I hope you enjoyed both the drawing process and the excerpt from the book. If you did enjoy it, go check out Jubilant. The link to the Amazon page is down below. It's available for pre-order on Kindle, and the hard copy will be available for order starting on December 1st. I'm super excited to keep showing you guys more to do with this book and the world that Annalise and I are developing. So stick around, like the video, comment, subscribe, ask questions, and I would love to engage with you guys. Until next time, fare thee well.